So I'm having a chat with Xander AV. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Jim. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. So we've been playing a new single of yours called Fall. Tell us a bit about the
Yep.
single.
Well, it was written about a year ago now, and it was all about how me and my ex-girlfriend we'd split up, and it was really just going through that process of realizing how difficult it can be to go through that transition when you've been with somebody for a while and you're still in all the same places, physically that you used to be in together, and there's just all those little reminders, and it makes it so hard to kind of just fall away from that experience. Um, and also in her experience, she moved away and she went off traveling and did all that thing. So it's always that thing of almost I'm still here and you're still you know, kind of here, in memory form, and you've gone off and you're away, and have you found something different?
Mm,
And so that's really the kind of themes that the song explores.
nice, nice. And it's coming off your debut EP. What can we expect on the release?
It is. So obviously this is launch number one. We've got it'll be a 4-track EP, which I'm really excited about. It's been a long time coming. So this has been different songs from different experiences over the years that I've kind of pieced together that I thought would work really well as like a packaged EP. Um, so obviously, I said Falls, the first one, exploring those kind of themes, and they're all rooted in that kind of really raw kind of singer-songwriter aspect with additional elements from other genres kind of dropped in there. The second single's almost a little bit more lo-fi. This one's got a lot of kind of orchestral, instruments thrown into it at the end with a really nice, violin and viola part that we wrote, and it's all recorded live, which was really nice. So it's a really nice organic sounding EP, which for me as an artist was really satisfying to
Mm.
make.
Yeah, was it the sound that you wanted to make?
100%, 100%. And I'm really happy. I feel like I listen to a lot of singer-songwriter music now, and popular music. I think it has almost, from a production perspective, gone back to a little bit more classical. There's more folky elements and country elements, which for me was like, okay, this is great, because there's nothing worse than you wanting to make a sound and someone going, well, that sound's not really in right now, and you feel a bit like, oh man, I really want to make this. So to be making the sound that I want to make, and that sound also be in vogue, as it were, at the minute, is really good. So yeah, I'm really happy with how they've all turned out.
Nice, nice. Is there scope for things that you want to try to see if they work for you to when you go forward in the future?
Definitely. I mean, like anybody nowadays with modern streaming services, I've got a very eclectic music taste. So there's
Mm.
lots of different things I'd like to draw from. And obviously, with it being the first few tracks that I'm releasing, I'm really focused on, making them as dynamic as possible to really make the audience feel invested in the songs. The kind of 6.5 minute more progressive stuff can be a harder sell to somebody who's never even heard of me before. So I've tried to make these first few songs as punchy and as catchy and as captivating as possible, to hopefully bring people on for the ride, to show, just where I can expand from the themes that I'm establishing with these early singles.
Nice, nice. I like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Well, for me, it's always find a progression that I like on either the guitar or the keyboard. I've got my keyboard next to me
Oh
here,
yeah,
and I've got
yeah.
my guitars on the wall over there. So it's always playing around with different progressions, different melodies that I like, and then really just humming a vocal line over the top of that, and then seeing what phrasing and wording really comes from that. I know everybody's got different styles. A friend of mine writes poetry effectively first and then finds melodies to that. But I just find that much more difficult to do. I'd much rather almost let the music guide it and then fit the words to the melody. That's how I've done it in the past.
Are the lyrics a bit of a challenge at times, or do they come kind of straightforward?
It's funny. I mean, sometimes it's like turning a tap on, and it's you can write. I mean, Fall, for instance, I wrote in an evening. Just sat down, was playing around with. There's lots of open suspensions on the guitar. It's in standard E tuning, but they're effectively bar chords without the root note at the top for the majority of the song. So you get a really nice kind of drony kind of sound on the guitar. And it really, I always think once you get the first line, you can really just then build. It's like, I think it's sometimes, I've said it before, it's like building a puzzle. Once you've kind of got the edge and you're working your way in, I feel like that's when you can really start picking some momentum up. And then you're putting in the last few pieces, that's going back and just, is that line as good as I want it to be? Or maybe I want to tweak that. But yeah, it's I feel like sometimes it can be, I need to take a few days break because I'm just writing drivel. Whereas other times it can be, I'm on a roll now and bang, 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 and you're really happy with how it's turned out.
Nice, nice. I'm sure people will want to start seeing you playing some live shows soon. What's your plan?
Well, at the minute, I love a pub gig, love a bar gig. I think they're a lot of fun, and you tend to find people at those kind of venues. They're out there to socialize and see their friends and have a nice evening. So generally, spirits are quite high on those evenings, which is great. So it's nice to build on that. And I always like to throw in the songs that everyone wants to hear, and then I'll sprinkle in a few originals in there as well, which I think people like. Similar to what I said earlier, get them in on the hook, and then once you've got their attention, right, drop them something that they haven't heard before. And funnily enough, it's always those songs that then when I always in a break, I'll go and speak to people that have been particularly engaged, and they always go, "Oh, that original song you did for track 6 or whatever, that was great. Can I listen to that anywhere?" So I do a lot of those, and obviously with summer slowly being around the corner, pub gardens and all that kind of thing are always where you can find me. But on all my social medias, I'm always plugging that when I'm playing.
Awesome, awesome. As you're fairly new to this, I'd like to find out what made you do this in the first place.
Well, I was 8 when I first started singing. So I'm 26 now. I'd be in the over 25s on X Factor, which is quite hard to believe. But I was 8 when I first started singing, and that just kind of grew as I got older, and then had my first breakup when I was 14, and started writing songs about it with my friend who played guitar. And then it really just kind of grew from there, and it became first a great outlet as as a young teenager, and you think the world's against you and everybody hates you. It's a great way to just decompress. And then as I've got older, it's just a really great kind of social thing. I mean, it's a great way. All my friends now, people moving away in busy life schedules, we see each other most of the time when it's Xander's playing a gig. Should we go and watch Xander play? That becomes a little bit like the hub, which can be nice. And like I said, we said before about your guitars, and once you get bitten by the bug, it can be quite difficult to pull yourself away from it. Gigging's a lot of fun. You meet some great people. And I still have that emotional kind of venting, even though sometimes it's subconscious now. I'll end up writing something. People ask me, "Oh, when you write, do you go with the idea to, well, today I'm going to write about this?" And it's always just no. It's just what comes will come. What subconsciously leaks out into the conscious brain. So yeah, it's that really. It's a bit of an addiction at this point. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, which is great.
Good, good. And you must have some aspirations of things you want to achieve. If you had to pick one thing on that bucket list that you have to do in that music industry, what would it be?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, even at this stage, because I'm a big believer in small goals, big targets, all that kind of thing. And I guess more like a medium-sized goal would be I'd love to support a band that or an artist that I've always been a huge fan of. I saw the Script, who are big influences of mine, in December, and they played a small gig in Prism in Kingston, which is local to me. They did an early show at 6 o'clock and a late show at 8 o'clock. It was about an hour, and we went to the early one and the late one. And I stayed afterwards and had a little conversation with Danny, who's probably the reason I got into singing and music. So I think being able to support a band like that at some point in my life would be pretty cool.
Did you play your music to him?
I'd have loved to. He actually said, because it was just before Christmas, he said, "I need to get my fiance something for Christmas. Have you got any suggestions?" So I shouted up, "You should get her my upcoming EP," right? And we were chatting about that, and afterwards he was like, "You're the musician, And I was like, yeah. So he was like, "Mate," he was like, "What's your name? I'll keep an eye out for you." So it'd be that'd be a real kind of amazing experience for me.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Xander, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Thank you so much, Jim. Great to meet you.